All right, folks, we're here today at Health Services Authority in the maternity ward, one of the fun places, I think.
Yes.
But when you come to the hospital, you tend to leave with really good news.
Yes, thankfully.
Right?
Mostly,
maybe
yes.
one bundle, maybe two bundles
Yes.
or more of something that you're just going to love forever. So we are here with one of the midwives here at Health Services Authority. So please just introduce yourself to our listening audience and tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do here at the HSA.
Okay, my name is Annette O'Brien and I am a registered midwife, registered nurse midwife, and I've been here for almost 16 years in total now.
Wow.
Yeah, so I did my general nurse training first and then I went back and did midwifery. And I'm 20 years a midwife last month, actually. That was my 20-year anniversary.
Amazing. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
So it's safe to say that in those 20 years, you have delivered and assisted with the deliverance of a lot of babies.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes.
Yes.
You've
yes.
seen them.
Yes, definitely a lot. I wish I'd kept a record, actually. That's the only thing I would say to anybody going into this now is keep a record. But yeah. It is a great job.
When you see faces out and about in the community, you're like, oh, I remember you.
I know. It's so nice to meet people, and as their babies are getting big, and some of them now are teenagers.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about the maternity ward. Mm-hmm. Like I said, you know where it is if you've ever had a baby and you've had to come here.
Yes.
But there are a lot of people who don't really know much about the maternity ward. So give us a little rundown on where it's located.
Yes. So for people who don't know or haven't been into us before, we're located on the ground floor of the main hospital building at HSA. And you come in through the atrium, we're right at the back, straight down that corridor and over on the right-hand side. And then you'll see maternity signposted. And we have 13 beds in total. And then we have 3 delivery rooms. And we're in one of them today. And our aim is to provide the highest level of care that we can to the women and the mothers and the babies of the Cayman Islands by providing high quality care throughout, whether it's antenatally, intranatally, which is in labour, and then in the postpartum period.
Yes.
Yeah.
And having gone through this experience only once, I must say that it's a really vulnerable time.
Yes.
For not just the woman who's having the baby, but the entire family. There can be unique circumstances.
Yes.
Like in my case, I had a preemie, so I got very attached to the maternity ward through the NICU unit, which you guys are absolutely amazing, I must say.
Thank you.
So, everyone will have a different and unique experience, but I think the vulnerability of being in such a position, you're trying to carry this baby to term, bring it healthy into this world, and all the stresses and everything that go with even a normal delivery.
Yes.
So tell us about the importance and supportive options that are available here at the HSA for women who are, like I said, at their most vulnerable, really.
Yes. So we're fortunate that we have the only NICU in the Cayman Islands. We have an excellent neonatal intensive care unit here, as you've just mentioned, and you've experienced. And we are able to cater for premature babies or other newborns that may have complications. And it's a very, of course, vulnerable time and scary time for parents. But we're there to support them. We've fully trained neonatal intensive care unit nurses. And in the event then, in the rare case where additional care may need to be provided, we are able to send the baby overseas.
Right.
In conjunction with the overseas transfer team. And we're very lucky, I suppose, with our location that we're really an hour away from, an amazing choice of hospitals. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. I will speak about the NICU here in just a second, but prenatal services, there are birthing classes that the HSA offers.
Yes.
So there's really a whole array of services that are available from the second that a woman finds out that she's pregnant.
Yes.
She can rely upon the HSA to assist with all of those needs.
So when somebody, if they do a home pregnancy test, they call us up to Women's Health and get what we call a booking appointment. So they get an appointment to come and see the midwife. and they will go take a detailed history and order some tests, and then they get a follow-up appointment with one of our OBs. That's one of our obstetricians. And we have 5 on staff. And then we provide services right throughout. So, you can choose the beauty of it, and what I love about working here is that we can provide maternity and midwifery care. And that if a woman chooses to come to us at HSA, we cater for low risk and high risk pregnancies. And if you fall into the low risk category, you continue with predominantly maybe midwifery care,
right,
with the team in Women's Health. And then when you come in here to us, we would look after you in labour, partner up with you, and then in the event that there's any sort of emergency, our obstetricians are on call 24/7.
Right.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So
Yes.
also then we offer, again, on your choice, it's all very much a choice with people, but we offer the prenatal classes. Yeah, and they run every Monday from 5:30 to 7:30. They're free, completely free, and
Yes.
they cover a wide range of topics. There's 12 topics in total, but some of them would include, normal labouring, nutrition in pregnancy, alternative methods of delivery, and then they actually give a tour of the unit as well, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember those classes being quite helpful, actually.
Yeah, they are. They really are.
Yeah. If you've never been through it, it kind of gives you a little bit of comfort.
Yes.
That everything was going to be okay, and just great
Yes.
advice about your diet and other things that you should be
absolutely.
following.
Yeah, absolutely. There is, as I said, is a wide range of topics, and if you go on to hsa.ky, you'll see it listed there, and they rotate. So it's 8-week cycles. So you don't need to necessarily join it the very first class. You can jump in and go through all the classes.
Wonderful.
But everyone's welcome.
Yes, absolutely. So normal births, twin births, breech, vacuum, forceps, cesareans,
Yes.
you cover it all.
We cover it all. Yes, we do. We cover it all. We have 19 midwives on staff,
Wow.
all with a massive experience. I've been calculating our years experience, like it's hundreds of years of experience within this unit. So we cover it all. We work really well as a team. The unit is well equipped to deal, as mentioned, with any complications that do arise. We have our call bell system. The rooms, we make the rooms as comfortable as we can. The women are always encouraged, and if they want to bring in additional things to make them feel at home, whether it be pillows, even people sometimes bring in their own little lights or diffusers, things like that, just to make it as homely as possible.
Yes.
Because you're very vulnerable. It's a very vulnerable time.
Yeah.
But yes, we work really well as a team, and we work closely and well with the obstetricians we have as well. And yeah, it's a busy unit. It's a busy unit. It's certainly gotten much busier over the years.
Yes.
And we also have our 2 fantastic healthcare aides as well, Miss Olive and Miss Kadian, and our nurse manager Charmaine, who takes care of us all, and then our business coordinator Miss Gillian, who helps us keep the place in order too. So yeah, it's a really good team, I have to say.
Yes. Let's talk a little bit about the NICU. I mean, as we mentioned earlier, I've got some personal experience. For a month, I was in and out every single day, multiple times for the day.
Yeah.
And I was just so amazed at the care that you guys really offer with the preemies. I mean, it really just blew me away.
Yeah.
But for people who've never had that experience, can you explain to them what that 24/7 around the clock care is like?
Yeah, so if somebody comes in preterm labor, naturally they're terrified.
Yep.
What we offer is that one of the pediatricians on call would come and speak to the mom and dad. And if the mom is able, then we often even offer to show them the unit. So we know that, if you do come in premature labor, it is extremely scary for the parents. So what we offer, if we can, time permitting, is that one of the pediatricians would come and speak to the parents, or even one of the NICU nurses. And again, if it's possible, we would actually show the parents the NICU. let them in, let them have a little look and see where their baby is going.
Right.
And I think that's so important to help them feel more comfortable in a really scary time.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, but we cater for very tiny babies at times. And as I think I mentioned, the NICU is fully staffed with NICU nurses, trained neonatal intensive care nurses. So we are really fortunate to be able to provide that service.
Yes, absolutely. And it's manned 24/7.
Oh yeah, our unit is open 24/7. And that's what we always say to people in stress, don't be afraid to call us. And even for parents with babies in the NICU, we make sure when they're leaving, they have the number, they can call day or night, and visit. It's open visiting, which is so important.
Absolutely. And I know, again, just speaking from experience, when we would come in, it's a comfortable area. I know it's not the biggest space in the world, but you guys try to make it comfortable so you can spend time with your babies, and you know, you get to still have that bonding experience.
It's so important. Yes. Yeah. And again, you know, thank God we're past COVID now. So, you know, it's open visiting, as we said. They can come in, the moms can stay as long as they want, equally with their partners. There's no limitation on it. You know, and again, it's so good and important to promote that bonding.
Yes. Well, tell parents what they can expect when they come in during the labor and delivery process.
Right. So when somebody comes in, and even if it's just for assessment, if we're not quite sure whether she's in active labor or not, we would bring her to one of our labor rooms, get her checked in, make her comfortable, and see how it goes, you know, see what's happening then from there, do vitals, and we would listen to baby. And then again, if she's staying with us, then we encourage her, you know, take your time, use the space. It's a comfortable space. All our rooms have been modernized to make them as comfortable as possible. And we have, again, we're fully staffed 24/7, so there's at least 4 of us on per shift. So you'll be well taken care of. Yeah.
And you can bring in your partner or your birth coach?
Yes, so whoever you choose, it is one person in the labor room.
Yes.
You can change out. So, you know, if your husband, boyfriend, partner needs to go out and grab food, somebody can come in and keep you company for a while. We're open to that. That's no problem at all. Yeah. It's very family-centered Cayman.
Yeah, nice.
Which is one of the things I love about it. It's really family-centered. So, you know, we welcome that. Yeah, because everyone's so excited and they all want to come in. But for safety, you have to restrict it while in the labor room.
Yes.
But, and again, then we're fully trained and able to cope with any complications that arise. Yeah.
And what about the postnatal and postpartum services that are actually available as well?
Yes, so again, we work hand in hand really with Women's Health. And the Women's Health team, the midwives there would go out and they do postnatal checks at home. And they offer, you know, I suppose it's holistic. It's a holistic checkup. They go out and they're looking, you know, how are you getting on and how are you recovering physically? And then how are you doing emotionally and psychologically? Because that's equally important.
Yes.
And again, they're there to assist with breastfeeding. You know, anything if you were breastfeeding, see how that's going, offer advice with that. And it's a free service and it's so good. Yeah.
But before you even leave the hospital, they're going to show you how to bathe the baby for the first time. And, you know, all these things that as a new mom, sometimes you just don't know.
I know, exactly. Yeah. So we help with all that parent craft, cleaning the cord, cleaning their eyes, changing diapers, so important. So all those things,
Yeah. So you leave feeling extremely comfortable.
That's our aim. Our aim is always to make the experience for people as comfortable and as good as it can possibly be. We pride ourselves on that, actually, giving, you know, excellent care to the mothers and babies here.
All right, and then there's antenatal care that's also available.
Yes, so again, I think as mentioned, they can come in and it's almost like we would call it back home where I'm from, combined care, where you see the midwife and you see the obstetrician.
Okay.
and that's throughout the whole pregnancy. And then once you come in and you're under our care, you would be continued with a midwife throughout. Again, unless a complication arises and we need to call assistance from one of the OBs.
And for continuity, are you kind of assigned a particular midwife?
Yes. So we do the allocation. So the allocation is done when we come on in the morning. So if I had, let's say, Mary on Monday and I came back in on Tuesday morning, I would take back Mary. You know, so there is that continuity, which is great. Yeah.
Fantastic. I remember mine, Allie. All right, so there are sort of additional services that any new mom and new family will want to ensure that they are well versed on. So everything from immunization and family planning, safety of the baby. So let's talk a little bit about some of those services as well.
Yes, so some of those would be touched on during the classes. And your baby actually, you know, with your consent, would receive its first vaccination here post-delivery. That is the hepatitis B vaccination. And then the other two things we do the newborn screening test on the babies, and we do the hearing test on the babies.
Yes.
Sometimes that doesn't always, they're covered in vernix when they're born. So that's that white creamy stuff. So sometimes it's stuck in their ears.
Oh, okay.
So sometimes they don't always pass their hearing test at birth, and I say this so the parents don't, you know, get nervous or anxious about it. So sometimes we bring them back when they're a little bit older and try it again. So then as regards family planning, so what we do is each mom gets a 6-week follow-up appointment in addition to the home visit from the midwives. And then at that visit, family planning will be discussed. And options offered, you know. And sometimes you may choose one thing, but it might not work for you, so you have to try something different. So we run family planning clinics here on a Tuesday and a Thursday in Women's Health.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, so we've covered quite a bit about the baby's care and those initial, you know, prenatal, during the maternity period, as well as postnatal. And then, of course, caring for mom is so important as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So people who are suffering from postpartum or any other issues can reach out.
Absolutely. Well, that's what I say to moms. That's why it's so good that the midwives go out and check on everyone in the community. And if we see any sort of signs, maybe displaying that this person may be at risk, we would flag that so that they get a visit sooner, or maybe more than one visit. Because if sometimes we'll need more than one visit, you know. I might be finding it harder than somebody else, so they might go back out a second or a third time. But I would just encourage people to reach out. And sometimes it's easier to talk to a stranger than it is to your relative. Sometimes it's easier just to, you know, and we always say to people, you can always phone us. The unit is always open. It's open 24/7. If it's any sort of question, even I've taken calls from women who've literally just done a pregnancy test, you know, asking, well, what will I do next? To then somebody phoning in saying, I don't feel well, you know, I need help. So we get a whole range of calls, but I would say to people, please phone us or come in. We don't mind. We really don't mind, you know.
And one of the things that my OBGYN said at the time is, it's one of the, in terms of health risk, it's also one of the most vulnerable times for women in their entire lives. So any issues that you're having, take it seriously.
Absolutely. Please do not ignore it. You know, as I said, your mental health, your psychological well-being is as important as your physical. Because having a baby is such a life-changing event. And it takes its toll on us, obviously physically in a huge way, but as important mentally, you know. And I think social media is brilliant, as in, you know, there's a lot of information out there, and there's a lot of support through some really good groups on Ireland that people can reach out to. But sometimes there's a lot of pressure on women to bounce back after having a baby, you know, look a certain way or feed your baby a certain way. And I keep saying it to new moms, do what works for you. You have to do what works for you and your family. You feed your baby how you want to feed your baby. We're going to support you no matter what your choice is at the end of the day.
Right.
We're here for you. We work in partnership with the moms, you know, as best we can.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Let's just remind people a little bit about the classes that are available.
So every Monday, 5:30, and that takes place in Women's Health. And if you're, again, not familiar with the hospital, you come in through the main entrance, and just before you reach the X-ray department on the left, you'll see a door to the right-hand side, and you go out through there into Women's Health. They are free, and they run in 8-week cycles, so you don't have to start at the beginning. You can just jump in, and then, you know, you'll catch them all. Yeah.
And there's information available on the schedule, on the website.
HSA.ky, yes, and also our social media pages on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah.
All right, wonderful. And then visiting hours for people who want to come visit a new mom?
Yes, visiting is 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. And children are welcome back again post-COVID, which is great for the moms that have other children. They can come in and see mom and the new baby. So that's lovely. And we do try and not, you know, it's supposed to be 2 at a time. Sometimes it's a bit more, but we again just ask people to use common sense. So if you're not feeling well, please stay at home. Or, you know, if you must drop off something, wear a mask.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For giving us this bit of information about the maternity services and the neonatal unit here at the Health Services Authority.
Thank you, my pleasure.
All right, so tell us a little bit about the parenting classes in terms of where and when people can attend those.
Yes, so they're located in the Hibiscus Conference Room, and they are every Monday evening from 5:30 to 7:30, and they are over an 8-week period, and then they start again. So if you miss one, you can just jump in at any point in them, and then, you know, follow on and keep going. Yes.
And what do you recommend? Like, how soon should a pregnant woman start with the maternity courses?
Whenever she wants, to be honest. Some people would start them at 12, 16, 18 weeks. It's very individual choice, I think. Some people maybe like to wait until 24 weeks of pregnancy, but again, it's up to yourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, full information and scheduling can be found about the parent craft classes.
Yes, on hsa.ky. There's a full listing there, and also on our social media pages on Facebook and Instagram.
And I can say they're very useful. Lots of good information available in those classes. Everything from infant CPR.
Yes, to nutrition and pregnancy. Yeah, we discuss normal births, assisted deliveries, cesarean sections. So it covers a whole host of topics. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.